Hello, I'm Jason. I moved to Edmonton 2 years ago, from California. I fully expected to commute to my job downtown on my bicycle, as I've always done. It was fine the first winter, but the following summer my bike started falling apart. Winter here is really cold, but that wasn't the problem. My bike was severely affected by corrosion from all the stuff they put on the roads here.
Hello and welcome to Winter Bike Chronicles part number 2. My name is George Slackegg. And today I'm going to show you what I ended up doing with the wheel that fell apart. Well, actually, not exactly, because I didn't use that wheel to rebuild my bike. I opted for using a totally different wheel, but it was a hell of a sweet deal because I got it for free. I found it on an old bike that was in the back alley where the frame was actually cut in half. It was discarded. Scrap. Somebody didn't want to haul it away because they just considered it garbage. I don't know who cut the frame or whatever. It didn't really bother me, but I knew that there were some things on that bike that eventually might come in handy. So I kept this in my little shed there for a while, and now I actually made use of it. Enjoy the show. So I know what some of you are going to say, like, this is not really moving very well. I think it's a little bit too tight in there, and also who knows how long ago that grease has been put in there. So it's a steel wheel, guys, it's a steel wheel. But a steel wheel in the winter time can have certain advantages. For one, I think it has better traction, a little bit extra weight, not much. But for the braking surface, it's going to be much tougher because what happens here is the winter they put salt and sand on the trails and on the roads, and somehow that always gets onto the rim and into the brake pads, and you know there's going to be like more resistance there. It's not going to wear out as fast as the aluminum wheel. And yeah, I know it's heavier, but I don't really care. I mean, I'm a guy who's got a road bike with steel wheels. So I think weight for the wintertime is overrated. This is going to be my wheel.
Wishlist item: drum brake or disc brake for better protection from the elements.
There's a bit of a discrepancy between my wish list and the reality. Well, here's the free wheel I got. Next, I ordered a shifter cable kit. Comes with all the goodies in it: the cable ends, housing ends, the whole shebang. And of course, a brand new chain with the little connecting link. I also have some brake pads, but they're not shown here. So, let's get started. Alright, let's look at the wheel. The first item on the list is the hub. It's turning, but it's not very smooth. But still good enough to give me some hope that I can get it just right. To open this up, I need a 15mm cone wrench and a 17mm regular wrench. However, in this case I choose to use my pedal wrench because it's a little bit thicker and I don't know how easily this is going to come undone. As it turns out, the axle is in good shape and the counter nut comes undone right away, and I can unscrew it by hand. I have a magnetic bowl that makes sure I don't lose any parts. Next, I'm unscrewing the cone itself. It also comes off easily. However, I have to be really careful with this one because I don't want to lose any of the ball bearings. They're all inside there. Once all the ball bearings are out, we're looking at the bearing races inside the hub. And believe it or not, they're okay, just a little dirty. The axle itself? Perfect, nothing wrong with it. To clean everything, I just use degreaser. You can also use a solvent or the brake clean that I have sitting there. And look at this, like brand new. Just one of the cones had a little bit of pitting on it, so I take really fine sandpaper, and I think it's still okay. I start packing new grease into the hub on the drive side. That's the side where I did not unscrew the cone, and I put plenty of grease there so that I can put the ball bearings in there and they'll stick. I'm not going to lose them even if I turn the hub upside down. Once all the ball bearings are in there, I take a little bit of grease, put it on the cone, stick it in there, and now I'm going to put the ball bearings on the other side. I actually got a little better screwdriver this time because it's magnetic. Makes it much easier. Once they're all in there, again I take a little bit of grease, put it on the cone, and then I screw it down by hand all the way until it is snug. I give it just a little twist with the cone wrench, and then I'll try it out, see if I can still turn it easily. The next step, let's see, I've got it like this. It runs relatively smooth for a low-end wheel. But now what I gotta do is gotta adjust my bearings. So I'm taking this nut and I'm putting it on here. And then like it acts as a counter nut. So once this is tightened in the right position, my hub is done. Take the cone wrench and the 17 millimeter. So I'm just tightening it like this. And I'm gonna try, right now I don't have any play in there. And it's still rolling quite nicely. Does it look wobbly? I might have to drew this, but actually from here it doesn't look too bad. It runs smoothly enough.
Wishlist item, sealed bearings, to keep out contaminants.
Hey, once again, like usual on this channel, it's a different day and I gotta show you something. See, I did this wheel yesterday. I got the axle in here, it's rotating just nicely. Got a brand new freewheel on there, see? It's, hey, what is it doing now? That's weird. Anyways, everything is good, I hope. Yeah, I don't need any problems with this. This is a brand new freewheel. It was ordered on Amazon. I'll leave you a link in the description. It was actually ordered for my road bike. But now it feels like, yeah, there's something. All this stuff you can't rely on anymore. I tell you, the quality controls for some of these parts, they're not as good as you'd expect, but I'm counting on this.
Wishlist items, a full chain enclosure and internal hub gearing.
No. Anyways, what I wanted to actually show you is, see my rim tape? It doesn't look all that great. It was moved here. It's like, so what I'm doing, I'm leaving the rim tape in place for two reasons. Number one is because it's already there. It's additional protection, even though it's not the greatest. Number two is I'm gonna put this over it to get even better protection. However, I'm leaving the old rim tape there because I might have to true the wheel. If I have to do that, then this stuff is kind of sticky, so when it really sticks, then it just twists the whole tape and stuff. This is electric tape. So, but if there's a rubber underneath there, then it's no problem, But I still deflate the tire for truing the wheel, and then I recheck it usually when the tire is inflated, because believe it or not, I've had it happen that it made a difference. You can't be too picky with this. Really simple. I put it all around, and then I have to poke the hole where the valve stem goes, and then I have a rim tape that will actually prevent punctures from the nipples. They are called nipples. Alright, I got my studded tire here. There wasn't any problem with it. I got some soapy water. That'll help me seat the tire. I got my super high volume tire pump. Got a sponge. And I got some tire levers. They're not really recommended to use when you're putting on the tire, but sometimes they're quite tight, so I have them. I don't really care which way oh yes, I do care. This is the rear wheel. So yeah, we've all been brainwashed into thinking that these tires can only roll in one direction. My thing is, it doesn't really matter, but I still mounted in the way that they suggest you do. So I pay attention to this. You know, there's an arrow on the tire usually, but you can also tell by the way the threads go. Anyways, you know what? I'm gonna wet the beads on each side with my soapy water because that's gonna make my life easier. Thank goodness it's not cold today, because sometimes in November we get -20 and then you can't do this. See, I could put this on just with my bare hands, this one side. The other side, we'll see. Flip this around again. Let's see, I think I can get the whole tire on just like that. There. Tire levers were not needed in this case. And now what I try to do is see, there is a white wall or something like that all around the tire. And I try to make sure already that this is kind of centered so that I can see this all the way around on both sides. That way, when I pump it up, the chances are that it's going to be well seated. Okay, let's pump. See? Well, let's see how this looks. See, I have one spot here that I don't like. Right here, then right there. My solution to that is I just keep pumping until it pops. And this might be way too much pressure for this tire, so then I have to release it after. Yeah, it's getting hard. I had trouble with this tire before, and this is the way to overcome it. So I got it pretty good. It is pumped up, very solid, and yeah, just by leaving it a few minutes with the high pressure, it just slowly moves itself into the perfect position. So the tire is good to go on the bike.
Potential wish list item: tubeless tire, better puncture resistance. Necessity: shiny wheel.
So I tried to polish this rim with metal polish, and the success is not what I was looking for. So I'm gonna give you the tip that I almost forgot about, but that works every single time. Okay, you need something acidic. This Spray 9 cleaner, it works. You can use lemon juice, you can use anything that is a little bit acidic, and then you use aluminum foil. That kind of causes a reaction between the rust and the steel and the chrome. I don't know exactly how it works, but I know it's magic. Watch. That is what we need. So I just spray it like this. Spray 9. Dong 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 dong. It's weird because there's one side that is definitely more rusty than the other, but you'll be surprised what this is gonna look like once I'm done here. Look it. I got it this clean. There we go. I think that's a little better. And it fits like it was meant to be. This is a different wheel from a different bike, but this is how standardized everything used to be back in the day when these bikes were made. There's a minor wobble, but I think it's more from the tire than it is from the rim itself. I don't think there's anything wrong with that whatsoever. Now, what I've had to do, the chain stays, they have spots where the paint came off and they're rusty and stuff. I put some black stuff on there. Here, I show you. It's stuff we bought for the car for rust proofing. And I'm hoping that it's gonna get me through the winter with this bike and possibly next year. Maybe I'll get the whole bike powder coated, because I found that this paint, which is engine enamel paint, doesn't hold up too well in the winter. I guess everything is more brittle in the winter and stuff. And there has been some abrasion, so it's not perfect.
Wishlist item: powder-coated bicycle frame for better durability and rust protection.
I'm getting my winter bike back on the road, and that's the main thing right now. But for this video, I'll call it quits here. I think I've given you quite a bit regarding the rear wheel. What is left to do on the bike is the rear brake, the shifter cable for the rear derailleur. Then I have to check the front brake, see if that's needs some lubrication or something. I think the front wheel is fine. If I get really ambitious, I might do the bearings on that one too, just to get some fresh lubricant in there. However, I don't think that's needed, and I probably won't get around to it. But I'll have a bike with studded tires, and the shifter works. The rear brake's the most important one in the winter. I got new pads for it, and, well, brand new chain. The bike's gonna be like perfect, you know. But I tell you right now that come April, it's probably gonna be in rough shape. Winter in Edmonton is really hard on the bike. You can watch one of my previous videos to give you some tips on how to keep riding through the winter if you're in a place like this. Now, if you're in a different place, sometimes I envy you, because it gets damn cold here and the traction isn't always the best. See you in the next video.